Hey everyone, Paul here, Project You Are Another Me. Uh, Thursday, January 28th. I wanted to do a video. I was going to just do the capture, but I have a two-part type of thing going on here as well. Just to kind of wrap up most of the difficult week for a lot of people. This whole week has been very testing. When I say testing, I don't mean for myself. Not because I have composure, great skill in mastering things around me, but just because I chose to remove myself from the I and me, so I can focus more on others. And let me tell you, the job in helping others is never ending. Bob Marley says, why should I take a day off when all the bad people never do, right? So that's kind of the mantra I've been kind of working with this week. And ultimately, with that said, my heart has been very heavy for a lot of people, both family, friends, and associates, and strangers even that I've come across through the week, and just getting snippets from everyone's life. And it's a time of trials and tribulations, but isn't every day for a variety of cultures and peoples and whatnot. So with that said, I wanted to do a two-part quote and a two-part assignment for today, because again, yesterday was just so testing with the people around me, and also me contributing to helping, and don't get me wrong, I'm not impermeable or anything, so there is some sense of trying to keep my own composure and trying to keep my own sanity and my own just overall awareness into understanding that sometimes things happen in general as nature intends it. And just because the rain, for example, just because the rain comes down tonight, or this morning, whenever we're referring to, let's say it's coming down right now, doesn't mean that it's happening to me to get me wet and to get me in danger when I'm driving, or to annoy me. It's just order and the natural causation of this cosmic entity and universe, right? So with this said, yesterday I couldn't get a chance to do either a video or a picture, so my sincerest apologies if you were looking for one. Today I decided to just make sure that back to that, doing that grind. Again, Bob Marley says, the evil and the wrongfulness and all that, they never take a day off. So why should the good people, right? So I pulled up quotes from two different writers, one a science fiction, novelist, and another poet, William Stafford and Margaret Bonanno. William Stafford says, "This is your time, your world, your pleasure." Margaret Bonanno says, "It is only possible to live happily ever after on a day-to-day basis." And I've really seen that kind of really be formulate and encapsulate itself in my own life, because again, when we try to focus on the future, we tend to get very anxious. When we look at the past, we tend to get depressed, right? So as a generalization, not everyone obviously, but with that said, when we're looking towards the future and trying to say, one day I will be happy, one day I will, have that restfulness and that peacefulness, and live happily ever after, and you can call it your Disney fantasy, or just your the end of your story. However you see it, it's almost detrimental to the psyche to focus on happily ever after later on in life. Happily ever after is now. I do a lot of writings, and I don't want to say lectures, but a lot of writings and talks in relation to on the side with a lot of the Taoism and Buddhism, and reaching, like I said earlier this week, I believe, or last week, reaching nirvana isn't necessarily a destination. It's here now in this place right here, right now. It's funny, as you can see back there, right there, right there. That book, Be Here Now, the philosophy behind that is simply that, very simple. Be here now all the time. So, assignment for the rest of your night, and as you go into tomorrow, before I release tomorrow's, in relation to that this is your time, your world, your pleasure, and to try to live happily ever after on a day-to-day basis. I want you guys to focus on realizing that now is the time, here is the place. Okay, so now is the time, here is the place. Take a deep breath and just feel the pleasure. Feel the pleasure of knowing that you are existing, that you're alive. Even if you're succumbing to a lot of the things around you, the downfalls, the tribulations, and the trials and tribulations. Again, as I've mentioned before, and from a lot of the the recent readings that I've been kind of tapping into, is it's the heart that makes it great. I did a podcast that I couldn't upload because I did it on my phone with the audio. I just have to find a way to, and I haven't really had a chance to do it, but I'll do it and try to upload it. But understanding that, I don't know if I have one here, but to a coin, there's two sides to a coin. This isn't a coin, obviously, so, but there's two sides to a coin, and sometimes we live on one end of that spectrum versus the other. And this becomes the basis of our reality. Either you live in this side of the universe or your reality and just assume everything is blank, everything is white and rigid, just straight. There's really just nothing there for you, right? Or you can have the other view where everything's messy, it's chaotic, but it's exciting maybe, and there's just no straight lines, all these wiggles are all over the place, but there's no division between any of these wiggles in what transcends between one connection and the other. And so, but ultimately at the end of the day, the coin, again, not a coin, but this card is consistent of two sides that make up a whole. And, feeling the pleasure, which is very hard to do, mind you, but feeling the pleasure of knowing that no matter where you tend to focus, whether it's on the straight, rigid, white versus the chaotic, order versus the chaoticness and randomness of what this universe has to offer, that there's pleasure in understanding and knowing that you'll fluctuate between both. You'll oscillate between the two spectrums. The spectrum of light, the spectrum of energy, the spectrum of love, the spectrum of sound. So taking that deep breath and feeling the pleasure of knowing that the heart is what makes it great, and that's what makes you a human being, and that's what makes you alive, and that's what makes you whole. But at the same time, you don't always want to focus on that because it makes you anxious, it makes you depressed, it makes you feel like the world is bigger than you, and that you're just privy, you're a victim. No, you want to feel pleasure of understanding that sometimes you take the best from that. A lot of the times, being able to live in the chaos and understanding that without that chaos, without that randomness, you won't have a chance to find your own sense of awareness and sense of order, right? And at the same time, as you're doing that, as you're being here now, consider what happily ever after means to you, and have a little bit of that today. I came home after it's been a long day. As much as I can handle, I handled, and just exhausted, and tight nerves, especially because I haven't been working out. Because again, with being sick, my body's just kind of ready to get out there. So I should be starting in about a day or two. Came home and just had myself a little happily ever after, And so that happily ever after to me is doing this video for everyone else, because I get a chance to just strip away all judgment, strip away all barriers and everything that maybe I might portray under a different light, with being a musician and trying to be entrepreneurial and whatnot. Just simple, basic human compassion and genuineness. This is what I'm offering. That is my happily ever after. So keep that in mind as you venture into tonight and into your rest for the night, so that again, luckily we only get to, there's 24 hours in a day versus other planets where it might be, 108 or something. That'd be a rough day at work, a rough day just all around. So 8, 10, 12 hours of work, 8 of sleep, and the rest, maybe a little chaos with kids and school and sports and whatnot. Always remember the life, or the reality that you're in, whether it's this or this part, can always be worse and it can always be a little better. But what makes it important is that where you are now, the here and now, that it's perfect, that you find your nirvana, you find your heaven in whatever light that you're under. Because as long as there's light, you're in a good spot. All right. So thank you guys for listening. Please feel free to share this. And I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully if I get a chance to get a video going, I should definitely have an opportunity to do so. And if not, I'll put the post up and share it via Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And that, as always, remember, health is wealth, and health always starts as a state of mind. Thank you guys.